Now, there have been calls for the far-right group Patriotic Alternative to be banned after an undercover BBC investigation exposed extreme racist views among some of its supporters and members.
Posing as a new recruit, a BBC journalist recorded the group's supporters calling for migrants to be killed if they refuse to leave the UK, as well as violent and graphic comments from one of its guest speakers. Wira Davis reports.
Patriotic Alternative says it campaigns for the rights of Indigenous British people and is neither extremist nor racist. It organises social events like this hike in the Peak District, on which Patrick, a former history teacher, compared PA's tactics now to how Hitler and the Nazis came to power.
If you look at what the National Socialist Party did in Germany after the Führer was released from Landsberg prison, is they were doing community organising.
Right.
They were talking to local people about local issues, not as politicians, and that was what paved the way.
A BBC journalist spent months undercover with PA, recording conversations and the views of members like Aaron.
They're going to exterminate us, destroy our country, our people and our families, and call us racist. You got two choices. Fight or die.
Aaron later told our journalist, while working together on a decorating job, what he thinks should be done with migrants.
We put them all into camps until they agree to leave, and if they refuse, we shoot them. And that's the end of it. It's the only way they'll leave. It's the only way we can keep this country ours.
Our investigation exposes how members of this far right-wing group want new recruits to join what they call a race war on our streets, how they ask for cash to bankroll convicted racists, and how they peddle misinformation online and in communities to sow division. Accused of exploiting genuine local concerns over plans to bring migrants to a hotel in Llanelli, or the violent scenes that followed the murders of 3 young girls in Southport, PA insists their campaigns are peaceful and within the law. But at their annual conference, our journalist repeatedly heard extreme opinions, including the views of a guest speaker on punishment for non-white criminals.
The only language they understand is violence, and the only way to effectively respond to a crime they've committed that's as heinous as the one I just described is you literally skin them and you hang a few of their bodies up across some traffic lights.
We contacted Blair Cottrell in Australia, asking him about his comments, but he didn't answer any of our questions. Former teacher Patrick, when asked about his pro-Nazi comments on the hike and others at conference, accused the BBC of having an anti-white bias. As for Aaron, who'd advocated shooting migrants, we asked him face to face.
Get out of the way.
I'm not on your property.
You're not getting any comment off me, because anything I say, you'll lie about, OK? So just stay on my prey. I'm leaving for work. Get out of the way.
Why do you think the migrants should be rounded up, put in camps and shot if they refuse to leave? Mr Watkins, will you speak to us, sir?
They may not engage in terrorism, but are they creating a climate that's conducive to it? I would argue yes.
Britain's first Counter-Extremism commissioner has called for new laws to ban groups like PA.
I think we need hateful extremism prescription orders to outlaw those organisations. I think we need legislation to criminalise the leaders of these organisations, because I don't believe they can be de-radicalised.
The last government described Patriotic Alternative as akin to being a neo-Nazi white supremacist organisation. The current Home Office says extremism has no place in our society. For now, PA is still allowed to operate and campaign within the law. But for how long? Wira Davis, BBC News.
There's more of that story in a special programme called Unmasked, Extreme Far Right, which is on BBC One Wales at 9 o'clock and on iPlayer. And you can also listen to a podcast on BBC Sounds.